It's been said, all politics is local. Members of Parliament spend about 28 weeks in Ottawa. The other 24 weeks are usually spent in their ridings. We get a glimpse of this as we spend the day with Liberal Member of Parliament, Dr. Kirsty Duncan, during a recent constituency week in her riding of Etobicoke North in Ontario.
Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
Meeting constituents wherever they are. Dr. Kirsty Duncan drops by the Albion Centre for an informal chat with members of the Iraqi community. She notes over 90% of her constituents are newcomers or first-generation Canadians.
We're the fifth most diverse riding in the country, so the people I've just been meeting with are largely, most of them have been here less than a year, and yet they worked in 43 years in the oil industry back home. And you come here and you start again. It's not easy.
Serving such a diverse riding means responding to a variety of needs and concerns. She talks about part of her approach.
Respect and dignity, to see people as people and not as a group to vote for you. I loathe that. I learn as much as everybody's language as I can. I learn about their cultures, their beautiful religions, and their poetry. Sat Sri Akal ji!
With refreshments in hand, Duncan later drops in on a Sikh seniors group at Humberwood Centre.
How are you? Sat Sri Akal ji! Ki hala?
The 46-square-kilometre ethnically rich riding is home to 111,000 people. More than 50% have a mother tongue other than English, which is why Duncan reaches out in 5 languages during elections. Etobicoke North is one of the few remaining long-held Liberal ridings in Ontario. Some major industries and employers are also located in the riding. Among them, Bayer Pharmaceuticals, Apotex, Woodbine Racetrack, and Molson Coors Brewery. There are also several places of worship, including the largest Hindu temple in Canada. Back at her busy office, the work is non-stop. Duncan and her staff often see more than 100 families a day. The office gets an average of 400 emails daily. Immigration, family reunification, EI, and especially jobs are top concerns.
We rank second in the country for manufacturing, and you know, with this economic downturn, manufacturing's been hit very hard, and that means we've been hit hard. We do resume writing, we write cover letters, we find people jobs. I was able to get a $500,000 job program here. Not easy when you're in opposition. And it's settlement services, it's support for our newcomers to learn the language, to help integrate in the community.
Duncan is a tireless advocate for those fighting neurological diseases. She's also fighting to end child hunger in Canada and belongs to a board that feeds 150,000 children every morning.
It is unconscionable in a country like Canada that any child goes to school hungry. Hungry children cannot learn, and we are the only industrialized country without a national breakfast program, and that was one of the main reasons I came to fight, to go to Ottawa, was to fight to end child hunger in this country.
A medical geographer and author, she did her undergraduate studies at the University of Toronto and went on to complete a PhD in geography at the University of Edinburgh in Scotland. Prior to being elected to Parliament in 2008, she was a university professor. In Ottawa, she's on the Hill by 6:30 every morning and normally doesn't leave until 2:30 the next morning, averaging 4 hours of sleep per night.
I work long days, and I work long days because I have to fight for my beautiful community here, but I also have to fight for my national issues. I'm the environment critic for our party. Spent the last 25 years of my life consulting to Environment Canada, to the United Nations.
An environmental advocate, she was part of a Canadian team of experts who shared the Nobel Prize with former U.S. Vice President Al Gore for their work on an international panel on climate change. And she started the first all-party climate change caucus on Parliament Hill.
But everything I do, I work across party lines, because in order to move any issue forward, I have to work with all parties.
As with most MPs, being of service to her community is at the root of Dr. Duncan's motivation for working so hard on behalf of the people she represents. Reporting from Etobicoke North in Ontario, I'm Heather Seaman.